I don't really know where else to begin except with this. Last night, I encountered something beyond my perception of what real is. After I got off work, I drove home as fast as I could and saw to it that the police would meet me directly outside the duplex. The lie I came up was that I was worried Mark had found us and was inside the house. I showed them the restraining order and a picture of my husband, then watched as the armed men burst through my front door. 15 minutes later, they returned. "Ma'am, we've searched the premises. There's no sign of your husband anywhere," one officer said. "And my son, is Joey in there? Is he alright?" I asked anxiously. "He was a little shook up by our visit, but he'll be just fine. Have a good night, ma'am," the officer said. "Wait," I said, remembering the strange tone that Joey had used with me at work when we messaged. "Is there any way we can have a patrol car watch the place? Just for tonight. It would really give me peace of mind," I told him. The officer seemed reluctant to do so, but then nodded and said, "Yeah, that's fine, miss." I thanked him and then walked inside my duplex where my son was waiting. Joey was sitting on the couch watching television when I walked in the door. He didn't say a word to me as I got inside, and I tried my best not to show that I was frightened. For a brief flicker of time, I was certain that I had conjured up this whole mess in my mind. But then I stuck my head in his bedroom. I saw the trash bags that I had set up in between the gaps were torn to shreds, and of course the mirror was still there. Except this time, when I saw the mirror and I turned off the lights, something besides a ghostly image was staring back at me. It was Joey. "He is safe." I nearly jumped out of my skin when I turned back to the living room and saw it staring at me, eye to eye. It wore my son's features like a mask, but it spoke to me in a tone that I can only describe as pure evil. I thought of screaming, running, and yelling at the police officers outside about what was happening. "Don't try anything," it said. Using Joey's body, it grabbed my wrist and explained, "If what you care about is real, you will listen." It seemed like I was in a trance, but I followed his words and took a seat on the couch. "You have questions," it said. "What are you?" I asked. "For lack of a better term, another. From another place," it responded. It seemed calming to listen to. I was almost certain it did not wish me any harm. "What do you want from me?" I asked. "I have sensed your pain. I have heard you cry out in the night. You summoned me. Because of you, I am in existence," it answered. It was speaking in riddles. "Where is my son?" I snapped back. "He is with us until you bring your pain to us. He will stay among us until you have satisfied our hunger," it said like a snake. It made the conversation sound so reasonable. I moved toward the door, but as hard as I tried, it would not open. "You know what you desire more than anything. You've been a prisoner here when you pretend to be free," it said, moving close to me again. "Get away from me. You're lying. I want my son back," I snarled. "The arrangement was made because we could not get our message across to you the first time. Each minute you waste, your pain grows stronger," it answered. I didn't understand what it meant. My mind was in a fog. I just wanted my son back, even if it meant a deal with this devil. "You're trapped here too," I realized. The thing holding my son hostage only nodded sadly, its eyes gleaming white. "We need strength. Power that only your pain can provide. You must face it, let it drown you. Then you can be free too," it explained. I knew if I wanted my son back, I would have to listen to its commands. I reached into my pockets and pulled out my cell phone. The creature looked as though it might lash out at me again, but I held my ground. You need me to be free so that you can also escape. Why didn't you use those workers? I asked. We both know that only your pain will satisfy us, it screamed. It was sending a pulsing wave of pain into my head, ordering me to answer the call. Give me my son! Let me see him again, then you can have what you want, I screamed back. It was strong, but I had to be stronger. Its face fluctuated between the gray woman I had seen before to a darker black figure that only seemed to draw in light, then back to Joey. I grabbed a knife near the counter. You say you care about my freedom? Then give him back, I growled. That weapon will have no effect on me, it said. I placed the blade against my skin. And what about me then, your savior? I asked. It hesitated, then it drew back and made a screech to the heavens. The lights flickered on the house, and then my son was lying on the floor of the living room, unconscious. I dropped the knife and sobbed, grabbing him and making sure he was all right. Mom, what happened? He asked as he clutched the edge of the couch. I wanted to think that this was all a dream, but when I stepped into the bathroom, the creatures I had made a pact with stared back at me. It knew what I was needing to do. I knew that they would never leave me until I was free of the shackles in my life. I slid my phone open and dialed the number I had blocked only 3 weeks ago. Mark, it's Celeste, I said to my estranged husband. He already knew what I was going to ask, but maybe he didn't know what was truly in store by my request. Maybe I can still be free. I need to see you.